Alrighty, good afternoon, Arkansas. This is Assistant Chief Forecaster coming back here once again. I'm here to give you guys a live stream talking about what's going to be happening as we get towards the Wednesday and the Thursday time frame here. But before I get started with everything, I want to talk to you guys about this first off. So while I have over a thousand people on here now, I want to talk to you guys about a couple things. So number one, you got to know where you live. You got to know where your counties are. Okay. The second thing, during this live stream, probably the first 10 to 20 minutes, I'm going to be going over safety. I'm going to be going over guidance. I'm going to be going over everything you need to know in terms of what to expect for that Thursday time frame. So patience is key. Okay, if you have questions, just hold on for just a bit. Stay with me, okay, because I got to get all the information out to you guys first before I can start answering questions here. So be sure to keep that in mind, okay? But the number one thing right now, if you have not gone to the grocery store, you need to do it as soon as you can. Go ahead and stock up on food, canned food, perishable foods, water, batteries, etc. Be prepared for power outages, etc., folks. If you have not been to the store, do not wait until tomorrow evening or tomorrow night before this thing gets started, okay? You need to go ahead and go as early as you can, all right? So just keep that in mind. I know a lot of people like to wait till the last second. This is not one of those events you want to wait till the last second because you're going to run into a lot of delays at the grocery stores, etc. So if you need to get out, I would go ahead and do it today. This is a perfect day to do it. There's nothing going on weather-wise, but keep that in mind, okay? So while I have everybody here, I want everyone to be aware of that. Once I get past the 15 minutes of talking through everything, then I'll start answering questions, okay? So with that being said, let's talk about this, okay? So surviving a winter storm. What do you do before and after the winter storm here? So before, we're in the perform range, right? So build an emergency kit. Make family communication plans. Say, hey, what do we do if there's a power outage? What do we do for heat? What do we do for food, etc.? Folks, be prepared for a couple of days of power outages. Be prepared for potential tree damage or ice damage, depending on where this ice sets up. Be prepared for that, okay? Portable chargers, make sure you fill up on those. Make sure you have portable chargers. I know a lot of people have portable generators. Make sure that it stays 100 feet away from any windows or anything like that. Don't bring a generator indoors, okay? It's not going to work out well for you. And also, number one thing, if you have pets, bring them inside. This is going to be one of those events where it's going to be a lot of cold air coming in behind this system, and you do not want to leave pets outside during the winter storm, okay? Unless you're Derek's dog and likes the winter weather. But do not leave your pets outside, okay? Bring them in. All right. Now, after the event, okay, if you still have power, that's great. If you don't, make sure that you stay inside. Limit travel to emergencies only. All right. Keep your pipes from freezing, insulation, or slow drip. Stay hydrated and eat non-perishable foods. RDOT, Energy, they're going to be working as quickly and as fast as they can to get the travel back up and going, to get the power back on and going. But be prepared for several days of potential power outages with this. Okay. Just be prepared for all that. So that's the one thing I want to get to you guys out right now. And everyone's been kind of freaking out about what can they do with this incoming winter storm here. So I wanted to talk to you guys about this first. All right. So another thing, ice storm safety. All right. What do you do before an ice storm and what do you do after an ice storm? Okay. So before, make sure you have water, food, perishable foods, by the way. You don't want to have anything like meat or anything like that because it's going to spoil. So perishable foods, all right, like a flashlight, extra batteries, first aid kit, medications, at least easily a week out medication, and also extra cash, all right. Potential impacts, we're talking down trees and limbs, the power lines, especially for those in northern and northwestern Arkansas. I'm going to talk to you guys about that a little bit here shortly, but power lines with the heavy ice that we're potentially seeing or potentially could see, this could potentially weigh down those power lines, and that's what's going to start producing power outages. So keep that in mind, okay? Throughout this event, a lot of folks are going to see this, okay? So I want to stress, be prepared for power outages. Be prepared to be without power for a couple of days at a time, all right? Especially those that see the significant icing, especially in central, eastern, and potentially now southern Arkansas with this, okay? But that's what you do with an ice storm that's coming up, all right? So I've gone over everything. with this. Now, if you've made it this far, let's go ahead and talk about what our thoughts are. Let's talk about what we're looking at here. So, remember this from yesterday. This is what we call the ice damage index. This is something that is hand created from us, and it goes from 0 to 5. All right. Right now, this is what we're thinking here. So be sure to look at this map for just a bit. Okay. So remember, the orange is going to be 2, the red is going to be 3, and the yellow is going to be 1. All right. So take a look at this map for just a bit, and I'm going to show you guys what we're thinking here. Okay. So this is our thoughts. Let me see if I can get this up. All right. So this is what we're thinking. Okay. So this is the ice impact index. This goes from much of southwest Arkansas to central to northeastern Arkansas. We're putting it at a 3 right now. The only reason why we haven't gone higher than a 3 is because guidance has been back and forth between either a full-blown freezing rain event or a sleet event, which would be a best case scenario for us, is to go straight to sleet and snow versus freezing rain, because that would save the power outages, correct? Travel is going to be bad regardless. You might as well be ready for roads to be completely hazardous. You probably should not have any plans for that Thursday or even that Friday time frame here. So travel is going to be screwed regardless. But if you go from sleet instead of freezing rain, that's going to save you on your power outages here. So this is what we're thinking right now, okay? Keep in mind, once we get an evening run on where the best ice potential is going to set up, then we will go from there, okay? But this is the area that we're thinking right now here. And do not be shocked if once we have a better idea of where the ½ inch to an inch of ice is going to be, that we start introducing 4s or even in some cases up to 5, because this is potentially going to be a significant icing event dependent on where it sets up. Guidance has been doing a southward trend over the last 12 to 24 hours. Basically, it saves central Arkansas from seeing it. However, but it puts more southern Arkansas into this now. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, so those that are wondering, okay, the red is 3. Remember, I'm gonna go back to it for just a second. Okay, the red is 3. All right, that's numerous outages. That's tree damage, outages lasting 1 to 5 days. Okay, the orange was 2. That's typically lasting about 12 to 24 hours. Road and travel conditions are going to be extremely hazardous in these areas. And then number 1 is going to be the isolated areas. So it's going to be the isolated few power outages here and there. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, that's what we're looking at this point. Okay, so it's going to shift back. The graph is going to shift back in just a bit, but you can see what I mean. Okay, so the 1, 2, 3 right now. At this moment, we're not confident of going 4 to 5 yet because we don't know where the heaviest ice is going to set up. However, wherever you are, especially in central and southern Arkansas now, be prepared for the potential of ice with this setup, okay? So we're going to go here, all right? Let's talk about that. This is our power outage map. Now, keep in mind, this was made at 6 o'clock this morning, all right? I've put most of the state in orange because you're accounting for sleet, you're accounting for snow, and you're accounting for freezing rain. And also the wind with this as well. You're talking 20 to 30 mile per hour winds with this as well. So keep that in mind, okay? We have not introduced anything higher than this at this point. However, later trends are going to be the question mark with this. Southern Arkansas right now, I've been kind of back and forth with you guys because of the fact that there could be some cold rain down there messing up the ice totals. However, do not be shocked if that yellow line gets further south, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind at this point. If it cuts out for you guys, I apologize. It's a Facebook issue, but it seems to be corrected now. So as you can see, what it does to southern Arkansas right now, cut you guys off because of the cold rain potential. But keep in mind, this may shift southward because trends have been shifting southward, okay? So this is the sleet accumulation, okay? So we're going to go sleet, freezing rain, and then we're going to talk about the snow, okay? So this was made at 6 o'clock this morning. Another update is going to come out to you guys right around the normal time we do the forecast, about 4 or 5 o'clock this evening, okay? But little to no changes with this. As you can see, lower sleet amounts up there in northwest Arkansas because we're thinking you guys are going to be primarily snow up there, all right? Much of the central Arkansas area, we've gone a good 1 to 2 inches of sleet in this area, and this still could be underdone, by the way. We may have to introduce a 2 to 3 depending on where the heaviest sleet is going to set up. And in South Arkansas right now, nothing at this point. However, Right now, we're going to watch it closely. We may be introducing some trays to half-an-inch amounts down there in southern Arkansas at this time here. But keep in mind, this is sleet. This is not snow or freezing rain. This is just sleet totals at this point, okay? All right, now we're going to take this out a little bit further, okay? So this is the snow accumulation maps now. So northwest Arkansas, you were at 4 to 8. We may have to introduce 6 to 10 up there in far northwestern Arkansas. You guys are going to be on the lucky side of this. You'll be dealing with primarily snow versus ice. The further southeast you go, the lower the snow amounts are going to be. All right, so from southwest Arkansas to central to northeast, we're talking a trace, maybe a half an inch of snow at the very end of this event. But the majority of the snow is going to be across northern Arkansas and northwestern Arkansas at this point. All right, our graphics are split up. Cities on one side, counties on the other. Know your counties. Know where you stand with this winter storm, guys. I cannot stress that enough. All right, this is a significant winter storm that could potentially be impacting us as we get towards that Thursday time frame. All right, winter weather travel impacts. Okay, so this is go for travel. Right now, on orange, I'm going to be honest with you guys, probably with the next update, it's probably going to go red. I would not suggest any travel on Thursday or even on a Friday. And the reason why I'm saying Friday is because you're not going to get above freezing on Friday. I know everyone's seen their apps saying 40s, etc. on Friday. Don't buy it. Because we have snow accumulation on the ground, snow and ice accumulation on the ground, with an Arctic air mass over the area, it's going to lead to temperature struggling to get above freezing. In some cases, you may not even touch 30. Okay, so keep that in mind. On Friday, do not travel. The roads are going to be a mess. All right. On Thursday, do not travel. By the way, if you hear that beeping, this is from the new messages coming in for the National Weather Service here. So I'm checking everything at this point. Okay, so all right, so we're good to go. All right, so if you hear that beeping in the background, that's new information coming in from the National Weather Service in terms of like watches or warnings or anything like that. But anyways, back to what I was saying before, I would not plan to travel late Wednesday through, I would say at least Saturday or Sunday at this point. Okay, South Arkansas, so before, uncertainty right now. Remember a couple of days ago, the uncertainty was in central Arkansas. Now we're more confident here in central and north. The uncertainty has gone as far as South Arkansas because of the fact that there may be a little bit of cold rain kind of mixing in with your freezing rain totals down there in southern Arkansas. Okay, now this is the current winter storm watches out. Now I want to talk about this too because one more thing, whenever there's a winter storm watch or winter storm warning for your area, okay, you need to be prepared. All right, and another thing, just because you're not under a watch or a warning does not mean anything, okay? It does not mean you're not going to see winter weather. It just means for travel or power outage impacts and accumulation, okay? But it does not mean you're not going to see anything, all right? I fully anticipate probably a full widespread area of winter storm warnings. I would not be shocked to see a few ice storm warnings depending on where the ice is going to set up. And then in southern Arkansas, I can't rule out some winter weather advisories down there because there's going to be some mixing issues between the cold rain and the freezing rain down there in southern Arkansas, and that could still change. We're still 12 to 24 hours away from this occurring. That can still change over the next couple of days. So the trend has been south. Remember, central Arkansas a couple of days ago was the battle zone between rain and freezing rain. Now they're the battle zone between sleet and freezing rain. The battle zone is shifting southward. You know where this trend is going. We've seen this trend before. So keep that in mind. In South Arkansas, you are the battle zone right now. It can go warmer or it can get much colder down there in southern Arkansas. Gut instinct is telling me South Arkansas, be prepared for ice down there. 9 times out of 10, when that cold air advection gets here a lot quicker than expected, it always screws you guys down there in South Arkansas. I grew up down there. I've seen this set up many, many times where we were thinking of cold rain and ended up being freezing rain. So keep that in mind down there in South Arkansas. There's a cold rain, freezing rain mix right now, but it's still a wait and see. Further north, we're much confident of this being a significant winter storm. Freezing rain, sleet, all snow across northern and northwestern Arkansas here. So let's talk about that. This is the winter storm precipitation outlook. All right, this was made 6 o'clock this morning. Not much change with this. Okay, please read the entire graphic. By the way, a lot of information is on these graphics, so you gotta read the entire graphic at this point. All right. However, from I would say El Dorado right now. You can see what I did in South Arkansas this morning when I made this outlook. There's a battle zone down there right now. Okay, I'm not fully confident on going freezing rain completely in South Arkansas. However, we're gonna have to watch it very closely here over the next day or so. All right. Then you have the black area, that black line area that you're seeing. That line, by the way, is for significant sleet and freezing rain occurring in that area. That is that. Remember that red area I drew out on that ice thread a couple of minutes ago? That's where you're seeing on here. Okay. So it goes from Jonesboro down to Little Rock, down towards Arkadelphia, down into southwestern Arkansas. That is the area of right now between seeing an ice storm warning or a winter storm warning. Okay, we'll have to wait and see on what happens with that. But the orange area right now is rain. The freezing rain and sleet. By the way, freezing rain and sleet is not the same. It's completely different. Basically, what freezing rain is, it's regular rain that's freezing on contact. Sleet is falling as rain, but it forms in the little ice crystals before falling into the ground. So they're not the same at all. But when they are combined together, it can cause significant issues. Okay, so that's why we're having that area highlighted. Further to the north and west, I think you guys will be primarily a snow and sleet area. Okay, I think you guys will be a primary snow and sleet area up there in northwestern Arkansas. Consider yourselves blessed that you're getting primarily snow out of this, okay? Because you do not want to be dealing with the ice. All right, so that's up there in northwestern Arkansas, okay? This is our freezing rain accumulation map. Now, I said before, made it 6 a.m. There may be a little bit of adjustments here and there, but the idea still remains the same. A glaze to 1/5 of an inch up there in northwestern Arkansas and in South Arkansas as well. Keep in mind, South Arkansas, all it takes is another 50-mile shift with the low to the south, and you guys are in ice. You guys are right neck and neck right now. You're on that battle zone, okay? Then further to the north, from Arkadelphia, up I-30, towards Little Rock, towards the I-40 corridor, to Memphis, towards Jonesboro, Pickett, up there in northeastern Arkansas. 1/4 of an inch of ice or higher in those areas. And this can be underdone, okay? This could be underdone, all right? Right now, we're not confident of going any higher because guidance has been back and forth with the accumulation. However, this could be underdone. Keep this in mind. Be prepared for the potential of significant ice accumulations. All right? Then, like I said before, in the orange area, you've got 1/10 of an inch of ice up to 1/4 of an inch of ice. 1/4 of an inch of ice may not seem like a lot, but it is. Okay? That's enough to disrupt travel, and that's enough to potentially bring some power lines down. Okay? So keep that in mind. All right. Now I've gone over everything. Okay. It's all the information I have for you guys right now from us. Be prepared for a significant winter storm across the area. Make sure you're stocked up. Make sure you're good to go. The only thing I would say is if you have a portable generator, do not bring it indoors. Keep it outside, and make sure that you are good to go. Okay. I'm really hoping that the cold air advection comes in quicker, cancels out this ice storm threat. But right now, we need to be prepared for the worst. And then if it turns out better, that's great. Okay. So if you have made it this far in the live stream, you are now in the Q&A session. So now I'm gonna go through the comments and I'm gonna start answering questions. Okay. So that's why I was saying all I gotta do is get the information out, and then I'm going to start answering questions here. So you're looking at the HR real quick, and while I'm doing this, if you guys want to see a particular model, if you want to see this, you want to see that, ask me, and I'm here, okay? So now let's go ahead and start talking about questions here. So if you have any questions, you're at the time frame now. Let's go ahead and get this done, all right? So make sure you're stocked up. That's a good thing. That's a good question. That's one more thing I forgot to do. I forgot to do a wind graphic with this. So let's go ahead and let's just take a look at the high-risk nav. Let's go ahead and talk about the wind potential with this. Winds right now are not going to be significant. Now the problem is, as you saw with the ice damage threat map, it doesn't mean that it's not going to be significant. Okay, so you're looking at late Wednesday here. I'm going to back this up. So the 18Z is now coming out with the NAM. Okay, so I'm going to back this up to the 12Z, but you can see what it does. Okay. This is the middle of ice, by the way. This is in the middle of ice. You're getting 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts. You do not want this. You absolutely do not want this at all. You do not want 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts with this. That will bring down tree limbs, and that will accelerate your power outage threat with this, okay? You do not want 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts with this system, especially if you're getting ice. And you can see what it does. Let's go to the precipitation map real quick, okay? So let's talk about that. So you see where that 30 to 40 mile per hour winds were. You see what's going on. Heavy freezing rain. You do not want that. You do not want that at all. You want it to be at least 5 to 10 miles per hour, or even a calm wind. You start talking 30, 40 mile per hour wind gusts with heavy freezing rain falling, it's going to cause a lot of issues. My confidence in it right now, it's about 70%. I think the majority of guidance has a good handle on what we're expecting for this. I think much of the area, especially in North Arkansas, you're going to start off as freezing rain here, and you can see what happens. And there's another thing I want to talk about too, because I can't remember the name, but one of my followers suggested this earlier. There is a break in the action across the area. This is very crucial whenever you're trying to forecast winter weather, because what happens is the skies clear briefly. Okay, that will really drop your temperatures across the area. That means temperatures are going to be a lot colder. So keep that in mind. Okay. But there's a significant break between the first low and the second low. Second low comes in late Wednesday night and early Thursday morning, and you can see what it does. All right, heavy freezing rain across central Arkansas, sleet to the north, northwest Arkansas, you are in snow. South Arkansas, there is rain, and look at here. Look what the high-risk NAMA is attempting to do. There could even be some thunderstorms in South Arkansas that goes into the sub-freezing air. So keep that in mind as well. I can't say that we're going to be dealing with thunder or anything like that with this event, but the number one thing I want to stress, thunder freezing rain and thunder sleet is a lot more common than thunder snow, okay, because you're dealing with solid precipitation, you're dealing with liquid precipitation. It's very easy to get thunder freezing rain and thunder sleet across this area versus thunder snow. So keep that in mind, and that's what the high risk NAMA is wanting to do. It's actually wanting to bring thunderstorms into that sub-freezing air. That will accelerate your freezing rain totals. That's why it's wanting to produce a half an inch upwards to an inch of ice in these areas. Okay, so you can see what it does, and then by the way, behind it, you finally make that transition over to sleet and snow. But I think by this point, the damage is probably going to already be done. All right, so let's see here. Everyone that does not have heat or gas would need an alternate heat source just to be on the safe side. It's a good idea. I haven't looked at the GFS, Jared. Right now, I think I'm going to start using short-range guidance versus the globals because we're so close to this event. That's when you're going to start using short-range guidance versus the globals at this point. But I'll take a look at it here in just a bit. All right. How bad for Hot Springs here? We're talking about the potential of ice down there. Could be significant ice down there in southwestern Arkansas. Right now, it just depends on where the freezing rain sets up. That's going to be the number one question with this. Where does the freezing rain set up? You can see with the high-risk NAMA, it sets up right over central Arkansas. That area we drew out, by the way, is seeing a combo of freezing rain and sleet if you go with the high-risk NAMA, which is something you do not want. You do not want this at all. Okay, so those that are wondering about time, by the way, it's going to be over here. All right, so looking at 6 a.m. This is 6 o'clock in the morning, first thing Thursday morning. Okay, this is why we're telling you guys right now, do not plan to travel on Thursday. This is worst time possible to get freezing rain. That's right at sunrise, travel commute. Do not travel on Thursday, folks, unless it's an emergency. And even then, you got to be extremely careful, guys. You do not want to have to deal with this first thing in the morning here. So, Allison, I saw your question earlier. I didn't get the chance to respond to it because I've been dealing with a lot today. That post from earlier, and I'm going to talk about that, okay? Life-threatening impacts. That is, you got to remember something. When you lose your power, you lose alternate heat. You lose your heat. You lose your electricity, okay? For some people, that's not a good thing. For those that are disabled, for those that live off of oxygen or anything like that, okay? That's not a good thing. I used to have a neighbor that had that problem, okay? That's what they mean by life-threatening, okay? That's what they mean by that, because a lot of people, to us, normal people, it's not a big deal because you just lose power, right? But for those that need the oxygen, or those that, that need power, and you lose power, that could be life-threatening. That's what it is, okay? And also, it's very, very hazardous travel conditions. It's very, very bad power outages, etc. Okay, so that's the worst that you can get out of that. So basically, that's what that means. So I hope that answered your question. Let me see here. So what's the orange means? That's sleet. Purple is freezing rain, and snow is blue is snow. Excuse me, I lost that. So let's see. About air travel on Saturday, Christy. Too early to tell. Very too early to tell at this point. It just depends on how bad the system is. I think by Saturday you will be in recovery mode, so it should be okay. It just depends on how bad the system is gonna be. Right now, I haven't heard much about air travel and stuff like that, but I can look into it and we can potentially help you out if you send us a PM. So are we expecting a spotty like last time? We got nothing. Okay, so Brianna, great question. I'm gonna kind of nip this in the bud while it's here. Folks, if you are comparing this system to the last system, you are way, way off. You are way off. This is a completely different beast than it was with the last system. The last system was an upper level low, which brought its own cold air. Okay, and even then, it wasn't enough. That's why everybody was spotty. That's why some folks got over a foot of snow, and some folks didn't see anything at all. The cold air with this one will be here. Okay, that's the number one thing I want to stress to everybody, because I know everyone's kind of clinging on to that last event. It's not the same. It is not the same at all. It is a completely different beast than it was with the last system. I promise you it is. All right, so please do not cling on to the last system, folks. Okay, because if you cling on to it, it's gonna bite you. All right, this is a completely different beast than what we were looking at here. There's a lot more cold air with this one as well. Okay, so this one, Richard, great point. Yeah, he nailed it right there. This is a milk and bread event right here. The last one, upper level low, very tricky. Not everybody saw everything. Okay, but this one is completely different. All right. How would you compare this? Great question. How would you compare this to the 2009 ice storm event? 2009 was a generational ice storm. It's going to be very hard to beat the 2009 ice storm. It's going to be very, very hard. Can it happen? Debatable. I'll put it that way. Debatable. We'll have to wait and see. But right now, it's going to be very hard to beat what happened in 2009. That's all I'm going to say about that. But can it happen? Can it be done with this event? I wouldn't put it past it, to be honest with you. There's a lot of dynamics with this system here. You can see what it does. So there's right around 6 o'clock. So pay attention up here, by the way, if you're looking for timing. This is 6 o'clock in the morning, okay? And there's a little bit of break in the action here, but I still think the NAM is underdoing the precipitation. Here's why. So we're looking at something here. It's called PWAD. And basically, this is the amount of moisture in the air. And this is another thing I want to talk to you guys about. This is another thing you do not want to see. You do not want to see over an inch of PWAD in sub-freezing air. That is just asking for a significant ice storm. All right? There's a lot of moisture with this system. I mean, a significant amount of moisture with this system. You do not want to see this going over sub-freezing air. That is ice storm ready to happen. Ice storm 101 right there. Okay, so basically, for those that don't remember the 2009 ice storm, basically it was a generational ice storm. You've had some folks seeing well over about an inch or two of ice. You had snow, sleet combined with that. It was a very, very generational event. I'm going to try to pull that up and post it on the page at some point. But like I said, it's going to be very hard to beat that. It's going to be very hard to beat that ice storm from back then. But can it be done? Can it be beaten? Wait and see. The problem here's the issue. Okay, so we were last year. Remember last year we were looking out and guidance was throwing 20 inches of snow. We didn't believe it for nothing. And you look what happened. We had the historic historic snowstorm from last year. Okay, we were looking at guys. We didn't believe it. Well, that tells you about guidance. You never know. Can it be done? Potentially. It can be repeated. It'd be the worst case scenario for us, but it's still a wait and see at this point. Okay, so thank you for whoever you sent me that energy link. I'm gonna read that here in just a bit. So time frame for Wednesday for Fairbank, it's gonna be primarily rain on Wednesday. That's another thing I'm gonna talk to you guys about too. Everybody's expecting us on Wednesday. Okay, we're looking at Thursday. This is not gonna be on Wednesday. I'm gonna show you something on Wednesday. Okay. Okay, so Wednesday throughout the day, unless you're in northwestern Arkansas, it's going to be primarily rain. And even in some cases, and this is concerning for Wednesday, notice something. It's dry. There's not much going on. That means you have clear skies, which means cloud cover is going to build in late. And you start talking getting dark with no cloud cover, your temperatures are going to tank. So that's another concern of mine. Remember, we were looking at this a week ago, and we were very confident this was going to be a heavy rain event. Okay? Now look what's going on. You're not looking at any rain on Wednesday. Okay? So that means there's going to be periods of some places seeing clear skies. You see clear skies with this event, your temperatures are going to tank. That means your 32-degree line is going to get to you quicker. All right? So let's talk about that. Let's go to temperatures real quickly, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay? So how bad for wind up there in northeastern Arkansas? Ice. Heavy freezing rain, sleet. I think by the very end, everybody in central and northern Arkansas should switch over to snow, but it's going to be very, very difficult. It's going to be very, very difficult to get there because of the fact that we're looking at warm air aloft. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Guidance has been back and forth with sending the cold air aloft southward. It just depends at this point, okay? So here's my problem, okay? So this is exactly what I'm talking about here, okay? So your frontal boundary, and this is 6 p.m., by the way. So your time's over here. For those that are wanting to watch time, it's going to be right over here, okay? So your frontal boundary is in southern Arkansas. Look at the temperature difference. 62 degrees in El Dorado, 26 up here near Bentonville, okay? That is a significant difference in temperature, all right? Do not have to worry about flash freeze with this because of the fact that if you don't have much rain, then it's not going to happen. But here's the problem, okay? Look at it by the time we get towards 9 p.m. We're already near freezing. That's because you don't have much precipitation going on. There's some dry air between the two systems, all right? And basically what happens is your temperatures tank. So we get to midnight, we're already at 30 degrees here in Little Rock. Much of the area is already below freezing. Your freezing line's in South Arkansas. This is why I'm saying it down in South Arkansas. You're listening to this, you're probably thinking it's going to be a cold rain. Stay tuned. Please stay tuned. Okay, I'm very worried down there in South Arkansas. But you see what happens. By the time we get towards first thing Thursday morning, your freezing line is in South Arkansas. 34, 33, 32 down here in South Arkansas now. You're at 30 here in the metro. You're in the 20s up here. Okay, and throughout the day, by the way, all right, throughout the day, your temperature is going to be falling too. You got 30 degrees here in Little Rock. You've got teens up here in Northwest. You've got near freezing in South Arkansas. Keep that in mind in South Arkansas. A 2-degree difference can mean a big difference between a cold rain and a significant ice storm. Okay? Please keep that in mind down there in South Arkansas. Like I said before, I've been there. I've lived in South Arkansas. I know how people are and they're skeptical. Please, 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 please keep that in mind and watch over the next day or so because I do not like this trend. Remember, a couple of days ago, this was well to north and west. This was further northwest than it was a couple of days ago, okay? Now we're starting to make that trend south, okay? So please keep that in mind down there in South Arkansas. Rest of the area, be prepared for a potential winter storm out of this, okay? So just going over questions here. Thank you guys, by the way. I love doing these live streams, as you can probably tell by now. I get to details as quick as I can. Let me see here. And yeah, and I appreciate that, by the way. We have over 1,000 people on here right now. I really appreciate all y'all's attention at this point, okay? So folks can watch the first 15 minutes on replay after the post to see what the impacts are. Yes. If you need to stream back, please stream back, all right? But the first 15 minutes is me going over everything. Now it's the Q&A. Now it's when I'm going to start answering questions and trying to get to everybody as quickly as I can here, guys. So Sunday's my birthday. Someone said Thursday's their birthday. Happy early birthday. Let me see here. Going over everything. Cabot, Central Arkansas right now. Battle zone. Freezing rain and sleet. And another issue is, and let's talk about that real quick, okay? So here's your model. And this is what I call the model run-to-run change. All right, let me back this up, okay? Here's something I'm watching real quickly here. So basically, this is what we look at for trends, okay? So don't pay attention to the numbers. Don't pay attention to the colors or anything. This is not a temperature map or anything like that. This is just a change between models, okay? So as you can see, the 6Z run this morning and the current run, the 12Z right now, okay? As you can see what happens, okay? colder temperatures at this point. You're talking a 2 to 3 degree difference from the last run down here in southern Arkansas now. That's why I'm concerned down here. That makes a world of difference whenever you're trying to forecast winter weather down there. Okay? Much of the area has been kind of stationary because that means guidance is coming into a better idea with temperatures. But South Arkansas, you can see where the colder trend is down here. That's why I'm saying watch your back down there in South Arkansas. I don't think this is going to be primarily a cold rain here. Now, I'm going to step this out to the 18Z. Okay? And the 18Z now, as you can see what it does. Okay? Look at the colder trend now. So, okay, look at the colder trend now. So you can see what I'm talking about here. -1, 0. That's the colder trend down here at this point. Okay? So that's why I'm saying down there in South Arkansas, you got to watch it extremely, extremely close here. So look what's going on now. Okay? This is the latest run on the high-res dam, by the way. This is 32 now in Arkadelphia here, 34 in Camden, 34 in El Dorado, 32 now in Monticello. That's why I'm saying down here in South Arkansas, you got to watch it. You have to. And then look what happens. Okay? Throughout the day, you're back and forth. You're back and forth between 32, 33, 34 degrees. Everybody else, below freezing. Everybody else is in the 20s and teens and 20s and low 30s. Okay? My problem is this. 29, 30 degrees here in the metro with heavy freezing rain and sleet. That's what's going to cause issues across the area. North Arkansas, your primary snow. Northeast Arkansas, your primary ice switching over to snow. And South Arkansas, your rain for the most part. But you're going to have that battle zone down there for much of the day on Thursday here. And I cannot rule out that temperatures may be a little bit underdone down there here. So this is the latest run, by the way. And I'm starting to see a little bit of a trend here in central Arkansas. It's starting to mix in a little bit of sleet. Here in central Arkansas, which would help out overall with snow freezing rain totals. But you can see what it does. First thing Thursday morning. Okay? And look at this. I am not liking this with the high-res dam. Okay? I am not liking this at all. Thunderstorm activity down here. That's when I do not like seeing that at all. Okay? That's why I'm saying down here in South Arkansas, you got to watch it closely. We are very confident in this area. Okay? It gets a check mark. We're very confident in this area. The question mark now goes to South Arkansas. That's where we're going to have the questions on where we could potentially see the ice or cold rain down there at this point. Okay, so let's see here. What about Johnson County? Same thing. Smithville Overlook. Right now, I need to know if I need to make it for Wednesday and Friday. Right now, so for the majority of the state, unless you live in far southern Arkansas, I wouldn't plan to travel. If you have any plans, feel free. You may need to reschedule them or postpone it or completely cancel it. I would not plan on traveling on Thursday or Friday. I know everybody's got plans, etc. I wouldn't do it. Okay, South Arkansas right now, you're borderline at this point. Okay, so let's see here. Would this be a good question, Stephanie? Will this be a wet snow or a dry snow for Northwest Arkansas? Wet snow. This is going to be a wet snow. There is so much moisture in the air with this. I wish I can pull up a sounding. Let's take a look. I'm going to try to see if I can pull up a sounding up there in northwestern Arkansas. But there's a lot of moisture that I'm looking at here. So we're going to go over to this real quick, and we're going to take a look at that here. So precipitation type over here, and let's go ahead and pull a sounding at this point. Okay, so basically, as you can see, just a mess. An absolute mess of freezing rain, sleet across much of the area. Let's pull a sounding from northwestern Arkansas. Let's take a look at it. Now, it's going to get a little confusing for just a bit. However, you're going to see what I'm talking about here, okay? So as soon as it loads up, you're going to see what I mean with the sounding. All right, now what it's wanting to do is, give it just a bit here. For some reason, it's not coming up. Another thing we're having a problem with is with the models, where them just now coming in. We're experiencing some delays with data uploading here. But as you can see, there it is right there. So there is the NAM, the sounding for NAM here. Now pay attention to something here. Okay, -20, -10, 0 degrees Celsius. All right, so this line right here, I'm gonna change the color of my pen for just a bit. Okay, all right, so this line right here that I'm fixing to draw out is gonna be your aloft temperatures. Okay, so that is where you're below freezing aloft. All right, if you are on or just behind that line, you're seeing winter precipitation. As you can see what it does. Okay, you're right at that line, and then you drop well below freezing before you hit the surface. Okay, so you're right at it, so that tells me you've got some melting going on at 8:50. So that means that your snowflakes are going to be big. They're going to be those big snowflakes that are going to fall down as we get towards that time frame here. And then you can see what it does, okay? Below freezing and then here, okay? So there's some melting going on aloft, but then it quickly refreezes by the time it gets towards the surface. So it's going to be probably a combo. I would say a combo of wet and dry snow up there in northwestern Arkansas. The further northwest you go, the drier it's going to get. The further southeast you go, the bigger the flakes are going to get out of this situation here. So let's go back to the high-risk NAM here, guys. And I said before, I know I'm starting to drop. I know everyone's starting to leave because, you know, they're frustrated or whatever. I appreciate you guys for staying here, okay? All the 800 people I've got right now, I appreciate y'all for listening by this point, okay? I'm trying to get to everyone as quickly as I can at this time here. So also, please consider linemen, generator tanks, emergencies will happen. They are risking their lives. That's a good point. They're risking their lives simply by driving where nowhere else should be, let alone working to restore your comforts here. So please keep that in mind here, guys. So yes, we are talking about that potential. Now, as so for Central Arkansas, our best case scenario is what the NAM's trying to do. You want to mix in sleet. You want to mix in sleet with the freezing rain because it's going to cut into your ice totals. South Arkansas, a little bit of a different story down there. I'm really worried down here now that the majority of the ice is starting to shift here. Okay, now you're mixing sleet and freezing rain here. You're primarily snow up here in northwestern Arkansas. Okay, so that's what I'm starting to worry about here. But that would be the best case scenario for us here in Central Arkansas. You want to try to mix in some sleet with this because it's going to help your ice totals here. So let's talk about that with the high-risk NAM real quickly here. As you can see what it does. This is what I'm talking about. Look where the heaviest ice is now. It's in southeast Arkansas. So this would be a best case scenario for us here in Central Arkansas. We would spare the majority of the big ice storm and it would go down to southeastern Arkansas now. Okay, that's as a result of the colder air starting to trend downward and southward and southward and southward. So don't be shocked if you get freezing rain and sleet mix here, pure freezing rain down here in southern Arkansas, and then a cold rain at the far southern counties. And even then, that's still debatable. Very, very debatable here. And you can see, let's take a trend real quick, okay? Let's show a trend real fast here. So I'm going to go ahead and back this up to the 0-6Z. Well, as a matter of fact, let's go to the 12Z, okay? So you can see the trend, all right? So this was right around 6 p.m. on Thursday, okay? Now you see the trend at this point, okay? You've gone from a half an inch of freezing rain here to for a tenth of an inch of freezing rain here in the metro, okay? You see the southward trend at this point, okay? That's what I'm wanting to see. You want to see this. You want to see this southward trend if you're in the metro or North Arkansas. In southern Arkansas, you don't want to see this because that means the freezing rain is making its way further and further and further southward at this point. However, I still would watch it because all it takes is for it being a little bit warm aloft, and that's when you start talking about the potential of freezing rain here in the metro here. But I think everybody will see at least a brief time frame from of time of freezing rain at this point, and then they'll switch over to sleet and possibly some snow at this point here at the backside here. So are we expecting widespread power outages with this northeast Arkansas? Right now, you go high-risk NAM, it would save you with that. It would save you with the widespread power outages. My problem now is this, okay? So this is the high-risk NAM, okay? So let's just take this for verbatim, okay? High-risk NAM, not much in the way of freezing rain. The other side of the NAM, the 12 km, you start talking near a quarter of an inch of ice. Okay, so this is why we're having a lot of issues trying to figure out where the best ice accumulation is going to be. So the majority has the potential of power outages right there. So I don't know if I would go widespread in northeast Arkansas because I think there's going to be some sleet issues up there that's going to mix in with the freezing rain. But I cannot rule out some power outages up there at this point. But my concern now is from central to eastern to southeastern Arkansas now because it's starting to trend more and more and more southward within time. Okay, all right, and I said before, this is just one model. I don't even want to show you guys the Euro. The Euro is a mess. All right, so more snow instead of freezing rain in the metro. Tommy, no, I think you will go from freezing rain to sleet. You're gonna have a lot of trouble with trying to get the cold air aloft here before the precipitation is. That's what's gonna screw us from seeing snow this far south. I think it will still happen. I think you will still have a brief change over to snow at the very end, but this is primarily going to be a freeze, rain, and sleet event here in central Arkansas versus a snow event. But except for, let's wait and see what happens, because all it takes is for this to trend for the south, and then we're going from there. But South Arkansas right now, I'm very concerned at this point here. So if you know anybody that's stubborn down there in South Arkansas, tell them I said personally, you need to watch trends closely. Okay, so yeah, I'll go ahead and humor you with the Euro. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's go to the Euro real quickly. I'm going to tell you now, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess here. So here we are as we get towards, let's back this up. Okay, so 3 p.m. on Wednesday. Okay, so you got freezing rain across northwestern Arkansas. Majority of rain, here and there. Okay, now see what happens here. Okay, this is right around 6 a.m. Thursday morning. Heavy freezing rain across central Arkansas at this point. Okay, my concern is this: you see where the stuff is starting to come into central Arkansas. Okay, that's thunderstorm activity that you could potentially see down here in South Arkansas. It's moving northward. This is a very dynamic system. A very dynamic system that's coming in. Okay, the Euro is not our best friend at all. All right, so as you can see what it does, it starts really going off with the freezing rain, and then by the time we get towards the end, look what it does. We transition over to some light snow. All right, so just keep that in mind. If you're just now tuning in, be sure to rewind the video or take a look at the page. I've already gone through the first 15 minutes of everything, but be sure to kind of rewind this video here. So if you're tuning in late, be sure to rewind and go look and see. But this is the Euro, by the way, and this is what I'm talking about. It includes my idea down here in southern Arkansas at this point. Okay, so the 18Z NAM, by the way, is pretty cold. It's pretty cold. It has a lot of sleet here. So I was looking at the 18Z NAM here, but you can see what it does. Okay, right over here. This is the Euro, by the way. I'm gonna show you the NAM here just a bit. I was looking at something at this point, but you can see what I'm talking about down here in South Arkansas now. Now you're starting to get a glaze here. Okay. Then you get the heavier freezing rain up here in in central Arkansas and northeastern Arkansas, lower amounts northwest, southern Arkansas, lower amounts at this point, but still watch it very closely here. So, great question. Okay, at this point, okay, what determines the National Weather Service and issue an ice storm warning or when? Okay, so an ice storm warning is for 1/4 of an inch of ice or higher. It has to remain purely ice. You have to have freezing rain. Ice storm warnings are for purely freezing rain at this point. Okay, if you get any sort of snow or sleet, you go straight to a winter storm warning. Okay, so an ice storm warning is primarily freezing rain. A winter storm warning is freezing rain, sleet with that combined, or snow. Okay, so an ice storm warning is reserved for just freezing rain only. So that's why some folks may see a winter storm warning and some folks may see an ice storm warning, because some places may see just freezing rain while others may see a mix of everything. So that's the whole difference between the two. Thank you for reminding me about that. I'm going to try to post that on the page for too much long here. So you're just not tuning in. You should just go ahead and make a grocery run and get milk bread. You ain't lying about that. You might as well just go ahead and go at this point. Northwestern Arkansas here. So I live in Malvern. Are we expecting to wake up to this in the morning, or will it hold off to Thursday? This is not in the morning. Okay, so let me repeat myself about this. This is not going to be Wednesday. This is Thursday's event, late Wednesday night and into Thursday. Tomorrow will be good to go unless you are in Northwest Arkansas. Okay, if you are in Central or everywhere else in the state, you are perfectly good to go for tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow will be good to go. Northwest Arkansas is going to start it, and it's going to start trending southeast within time. Okay, so please remember that tomorrow you will be good to go. I know somebody's going to ask tomorrow about this, but I promise you, you're going to be good to go for tomorrow. Okay, so we got new information in now. There is now a new winter storm watch out from the Architects. Let's go ahead and take a look at that at this point. So this is now for Hempstead, Howard, Nevada, Sevier counties in Arkansas here. It goes until 6 p.m. of February 3rd, which is going to be on Thursday. So it goes till 6 p.m. on Thursday. Okay, so there's now a new winter storm watch. If you're just not tuning in, there's a new winter storm watch out for southwestern Arkansas until 6 p.m. So let me repeat those counties. It goes for Hempstead, Howard, Nevada, and Sevier counties down there in southwestern Arkansas. So winter storm watch for those areas at this point. Okay, so that's new information that we're getting in. All right, so let me see here. Let me see. Can they issue a winter storm warning and an ice storm warning for the same area? No, it's not going to happen for the same area. Let me repeat this. The winter storm warnings and the ice storm warnings are two completely different terminologies. It's two different things. Ice storm warnings is just for freezing rain. Winter storm warnings is for freezing rain, sleet, and snow. Okay, so to get an ice storm warning, it has to remain primarily freezing rain. You cannot have sleet, you cannot have snow mixed in with it at all. It is primarily for freezing rain accumulation. You're not going to get a winter storm warning and ice storm warning in the same area. It's not going to happen. It's going to be either or with that. But if you missed that, just keep that in mind here. Guess I missed it for North Benton County, Pea Ridge, to be more specific. Central Arkansas, like I said, I've been repeating. Ice, freezing rain, sleet, possibly ending with some light snow here. So we're going to back this up, okay? Let's go ahead and talk to you guys about this real quickly, guys. So I know, like I said before, I know a lot of people are kind of leaving because they're not getting questions answered, etc. Folks, you got to be patient. You got to be patient with us with this, okay? We're gonna try to get to your questions as quick as we can. If we can't, then feel free to inbox us or whatever here. But you get the majority of the idea. Okay, so is there another system behind this one still possible for this weekend? Debatable. I haven't even looked that far. I've been so focused with this one, I haven't even looked that far out here. But matter of fact, we can take a look at that. So I'm gonna jump this back to the Euro real quickly. Let's talk about that here. So if you're just not tuning in, you're in a Q&A session of this video. If you need to rewind, please go back to the first 15 minutes. It's going to go over everything you need to know here. So guidance is backed off, by the way. But you can see, and here's another problem I have, by the way. So remember when I was telling you guys about this weekend, it is going to be cold across the natural state here. Your 540 line by Sunday morning is just now north of the state. So whatever happens on Thursday, some places may not get above freezing until that Saturday or Sunday time frame. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of cold air coming in behind this system. A lot of cold air coming in behind this system, okay? So keep that in mind here, guys. If you're thinking that this is going to be an in-out event, it's not. It's not going to be an in-out event. And let's back this up, okay? So this is on Saturday here, which I don't buy 40s at all, okay? But you can see what it does, okay? So on Friday, you start to recuperate a little bit, but you see the problem is you melt, and then you go back to the teens and 20s overnight, okay? Then you melt again, and then you're back into the teens and 20s. So until you get to Sunday when you're in the 40s and 50s, that's where you're going to start seeing the majority of the melting here. But the problem is you're going from melting to refreeze, melting to refreeze, melting to refreeze. That's what's going on here, okay? So at this point, let me see here. Going over the questions at this time here. So let me see here. When is all this supposed to start? It's going to be late Wednesday night. Okay. For anyone out there that's listening to me right now that thinks it's going to start on Wednesday, it's not. Okay. This is late Wednesday night into early Thursday morning into the day on Thursday. Okay. Let me repeat. Much of the day tomorrow will be okay. I know everybody's wondering about, is this going to be tomorrow? Is it going to be tomorrow? Is it going to be tomorrow? If you want to be technical, yes, but it's going to be late. It's going to be late into the evening, into the night, into overnight hours, okay? The majority of the day, during the day tomorrow, you're good. So school, you're good to go. Travel, you're good to go. Everybody else is good to go. Now, in Northwest Arkansas, you may start seeing some trouble up there, okay? Right around lunch tomorrow or in the evening here. So let's back this up, okay? So this is what I'm talking about here. So throughout the day tomorrow, this is 3 p.m. tomorrow, you're perfectly good to go across the natural state, all right? Maybe a little bit of showers here and there, but you're still good to go. Things can still change, but I'm pretty confident that not much is going to be going on here. So we'll have to watch and see. This is first thing in the morning, by the way, but Northwest Arkansas is going to be the target for tomorrow. Everybody else, you're good. It's going to be later in the evening, later into the night, into Thursdays, where we're going to start seeing it statewide here, okay? So let me see here. If you guys got any more questions, please let me know. I'm still here. I'm getting new information in, by the way. Let me double check and see who was that from. Okay, so the first one was from Streetport. Okay, so this one's from Tulsa. Tulsa put their AFD out. Okay, so Still waiting on Little Rock, still waiting on Jackson. But Shreveport is so forth. If you're just now tuning in, the winter storm watch is for Hempstead, Howard, Nevada, and Sevier counties down there in southwest Arkansas. It goes till 6 p.m. It goes to 6 p.m. on Thursday here. So ignore that, by the way. They're just issuing marginal risk for anticipated rainfall down there in Shreveport. So at this point, that should be good to go. Okay, let me see here. If you guys got any more questions, please let me know here. So the Mayville area still expecting the same for Little Rock. Still expecting the same across central Arkansas here. So I'm going to back this up. Okay. So speak this out, actually. But you can see what happens, okay? Later in the evening into the overnight hours here. I'm going to go up here. So if you're wondering about timing, by the way, okay? Let's zoom this up. Timing is going to be right over here, okay? So 12 a.m. over here. You can see what's going on, okay? I'm gonna, as soon as this live stream's over, I'm gonna post a future cast on our YouTube. So be sure to look out for that as well here. I'm gonna try to post it on Facebook too. But thank you so much for keeping us informed on the Lonoke County. We're prepared tomorrow today and tomorrow. Doing a great job. Thank you so much for that comment here. I missed it. Okay, so guys, if you're missing it, please rewind the live streams here, guys. We told everyone it's gonna be 2 o'clock for the start of the live stream. If you missed it, you can always rewind the live stream. If you can't find it on this live stream, check out the page. All the information you need to know is going to be on the page here, guys. So, do you expect road travel to be hazardous in northeast Arkansas Friday morning? That is a definite yes. That is a definite yes. Regardless if it's freezing rain or sleet, travel is going to be a nightmare come Friday morning. I promise you. With all this weather, if you have elderly, great comment. If you have elderly people, check on them as well. Okay? Freeze, rain, sleet all day on Thursday, or just parts of it? It's going to be all day Thursday. All day. All day. And then you're going to transition over to possibly some snow at the back end of this. But it's just going to be a wait and see at this point. But you can see what the NAM does. Okay? So it tries so hard to transition everybody over to snow. It does it. It tries so hard to do it. Will it happen? We'll have to wait and see. Have to wait and see if the warm air vegetation can get out of here. I cannot rule out, especially with this second round behind here, I cannot rule out that this is majority snow. Okay? I cannot rule that out. You can see what the NAM is doing. It's trying its darnest to try to change everybody over to snow. It's trying its absolute hardest. It's just fighting the warm air vegetation. Okay? And 9 times out of 10 with guidance, it overdoes the warm air vegetation. So this could be majority snow and sleet behind this, okay? We'll have to keep this in mind. But for the most part, throughout the day on Thursday, it's going to be primarily ice. But you can see what it tries to do. It tries to change everybody over so much. It tries so hard to do it. Do you know how much ice for Polk County it's going to get out of this? So let's go back to that real quick, because everybody's wondering about accumulations here. So I'm going to back this up, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at this, okay? So bear with me for just a bit. And we're going to get that pulled up for you guys, okay? So this is a freezing rain accumulation map right now, okay? So a 1/4 of an inch upwards to almost a 1/2 inch of freezing rain across the area from northeast Arkansas down to central Arkansas and southern Arkansas, okay? Well, south central Arkansas, excuse me. 1/10 of an inch to a 1/4 of an inch of ice for much of northern Arkansas, western, and southern Arkansas, okay? Glaze to maybe as high as a 1/10 of an inch of ice for far southern and northwestern Arkansas. Those are going to be the areas in northwest Arkansas. It's going to see the snow. The other areas in southern Arkansas, you're going to have a problem with some cold rain, maybe even some thunderstorms down there, kind of mixing in with the freezing rain down there. So keep that in mind. We'll watch this closely, guys. But as I said before, this is what I'm going over right now. So just in case anybody missed it, this is what we're looking at here. So I'm going to take a look at this one more time. So this is the ice damage index, okay? This is something we worked our behinds off of working on this graphic here, okay? So low risk for damage if you're at 0. 1 is you're talking localized power outages lasting a few hours, but the roads and bridges become slick and hazardous, okay? Anything above a 1 is meaning that travel is going to be a nightmare, okay? 2, you're talking conditions are extremely hazardous. Impacts are lasting 12 to 24 hours. 3, numerous utility interruptions are expected. Tree limb damage is excessive, and outages can last 1 to 5 days. And then 4 and 5, it gets worse from there. 5 is the absolute worst.
catastrophic damage to power systems along with stress of G damage. Outages could last for at least a couple of weeks. Okay, right now you're not going to see a 5 until I get a better idea where this ice is going. A 4 maybe, but a 5 right now, it's still a tad early. So I want to see what's going to happen with this. But here's what it does. Okay, so this is our ice impact dash. So remember what I was saying: 1, 2, and 3. Okay, yellow is 1, 2 is orange, 3 is red. Okay, the red area is where we're currently expecting to have the majority of the ice issues. This may go south. Keep that in mind. Okay, the orange area, same thing. So let me back this up. You see the map on here. Okay, so yellow for southern Arkansas, northwest, orange across central and much of northeast Arkansas, and in the red area. Let me back this up. Okay, the ice damage rate. Remember, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so yellow's 1, 2 is orange, 3 is red. Okay, and that's what it does. Okay, so that's the areas that you have to watch across the majority area at this point. All right, so I didn't see a second round. Let me see here. And then second round pretty much all day Thursday once it starts. Basically, what happens is with the high res NAND, what it wants to do, it splits this. It splits the rounds. So you have a first round that comes throughout much of the morning and the early afternoons on Thursday, and then you switch over to sleet and snow by the time you get towards Thursday evening and the Thursday night as the colder air starts to filter down behind this system. So keep that in mind. It's trying its absolute hardest to try to change over. It's trying so bad to change over, but it just cannot do it at this point. So we're going to go here. So by the way, let's talk about this too. So this is your snowfall accumulation map. Now keep in mind, it's made at 6 o'clock this morning. There's going to be another update that's going to come out to you guys here in a little while. But 4 to 8 up there in northwestern Arkansas, 3 to 6 across much of the area, 2 to 3, 1 to 2, a half an inch. I've got a half an inch, almost an inch of snow here in central Arkansas because it's going to battle that warm air adventure. So that means it's going to try its hardest to try to change over, but it can't do it, right? So trace to a half an inch across the area, and then no snow down there in southern Arkansas here. So keep that in mind. I know a lot of people get upset about snow. If they don't see their snow, they're upset. Keep in mind, folks, this is a very tricky forecast. If you do not see snow out of this, then it happens, okay? This is a very, very tricky forecast, guys. No need to get upset about not seeing snow. There's just no need for it. It's if it doesn't happen, then we'll go from there here. But the further south that you go with this, the lower chance you have of seeing snow. You saw with the NAM. It's trying its hardest to change over, but it can't do it. Okay, so if you don't see snow out of this, especially in central and south Arkansas, do not be shocked. Okay, northwest Arkansas is going to be the show stealer. They're going to be the snow show stealer up there. Okay, if it makes it here, great. If it doesn't, then we know from there. But the majority is going to be freezing rain and sleet here in central Arkansas here. So what time can we expect this to start in the River Valley? Late in the day. Okay, I'm going to have a future cast out here in a little while. Going over timing here. I know we're getting kind of to that time frame where everybody's wanting to know about timing with the new graphics here. Once Derek gets into the office today, it's probably going to be right around what the normal time you have forecast out, so it's going to be about 6 p.m. this evening here. We're going to be looking at data, trying to come up with some ideas, conferring with our team, so it's probably going to be about 5, 6 o'clock this evening here. But our ideas are mainly the same. It's just maybe get some tweaks to the south. There's going to be some tweaks here and there with your graphics here, but nothing too significant that's going to be changing with this here. So let me see here. Let's see here. I've answered that question. My kid is distracting. Hold on. My kid is distracting me with bathing suits and guns trying to jump out the recliner. Oh my god. You gotta love kids, man. So northwest Arkansas, I said before, I think you're gonna be primarily snow up there. You may see a little bit of freezing rain tomorrow up there. You may have a little bit of freezing rain trouble up there tomorrow, but I don't think you're going to have a big ice storm up there. I think this is going to be majority central and south Arkansas with this here. So I'm trying to go back. By the way, this is your current winter weather alerts, by the way, as I said before, for Hempstead, Howard, Nevada, and Sevier counties, which is down here in southwest Arkansas. You are now under the winter storm watch here. So that goes for the Queen, Ashdown, Texarkana, and over to Hope. Those 4 little counties down here in southwest Arkansas is now under the warning here. So as you can hear the beeping going on back here in the back. Now we're getting new information in. Let me double check and make sure we're good to go. So their AFD's now out. Everybody's coming. Okay, so alright, so now we got new information here. For now, northeastern Arkansas for Clay and Greene County up there in the northeastern corner. You are now they've now upgraded. Okay, so they've upgraded the winter storm watch. Okay, so let me double check that. So they basically upgraded to 6 p.m. I'm gonna double check, make sure they didn't type that out. Okay, so it's still a winter storm watch up there. Okay, so is that a watch or is that a warning? Let me double check, make sure. Okay. Alright, so basically they just updated the watch. Okay, so the watch has been updated. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Okay, so winter storm warning just came in for Wynn and Cross County here. So let me double check on that. I was looking and seeing if that was a watch or a warning. Because I was looking at that, I was like, I think they've made a typo with this here. So let me see here. There's a winter storm warning there in that area. Okay, so issues upgrade to. Okay, so they go watch or warning up here. Because I'm seeing a typo. Let me double check something real fast, guys. Okay, so let me double check something real quickly here. Okay, so winter storm watch is not coming out, by the way. Okay, so let me see. Okay, alright, so we're good to go. Okay, so Miller College just got put under the watch. Alright, so after this is over, yeah, I know, but problem is Arkansas doesn't give us vacations. So apparently they just, okay, so that's what that was. It is now a warning. It's just coming over weird. So let me double check something real quickly here. Let me double check something real fast. Because, okay, St. Francis just went under a warning. Alright, so that's northeast Arkansas. That's northeast Arkansas up there. Okay. So that must have been an error on the input. That must have been an error coming. Okay, so alright, so now, alright, thank you guys for the information that was coming in. So I knew I was reading that wrong because they said they upgraded the winter storm watch to a winter storm watch. I was like, I think that's a little off. So we do not have a winter storm warning, okay, for much of eastern and eastern Arkansas, western Tennessee. So this map's outdated, by the way. Okay, let's go back over to the recent winter precipitation outlook here. But I'm gonna go ahead and read you guys new warnings here, guys. So the latest from National Weather Service in Memphis. There's now a new winter storm warning out for Wynn, West Memphis, Forest City, up there. That is Cross and Crittenden County and St. Francis counties. Let me read this one more time here. Okay, so now there's one for Craighead, Poinsett, Mississippi counties up there in northeastern Arkansas. That's Jonesboro, Blytheville, and Harrisburg up there. And also, now there's now a new winter storm warning out for Clay, Greene, and Dunklin. That's Piggott, Paragould area up here. So basically, northeast Arkansas now is under a winter storm warning. So now you're seeing what's going on. Tulsa, winter storm warning. Memphis, winter storm warning. What's coming up next? Little Rock. So Little Rock is going to be one of the ones that's going to issue the winter storm warning next, and they're probably going to be doing it within probably the next hour or so. And then in southern Arkansas, Shreveport is going watch right now because there's still some uncertainty on the overall balance between either a freezing rain or a rain mix down there. But right now, as you can see what I'm talking about here, so that's what we got at this point. Winter storm warning out for northeastern Arkansas and northwestern Arkansas now. Winter storm watch across much of the area for now. Fully anticipating that to get upgraded to a warning within the next hour or two here in central Arkansas. So keep that in mind. As I said before, folks, over the next 24 to 48 hours, it's going to get rough here. Keep that at this point. So I have to go to children. I have to go get children from school back later. Be back later. Okay. All right. And so for this, not going to be our last live, by the way. Okay, so yeah, winter storm warnings are now coming out. They've been issued by Memphis here. So I was reading that wrong. I was reading that because I heard a ding and I looked over there and I checked it, and it said winter storm Memphis upgrades winter storm watch to winter storm watch. And I was looking at it, and I was like, what kind of a mess is this? So that's what that was. I was like, how do you upgrade a winter storm watch to a winter storm watch? Like, how does that happen? So, it was a typo. It's a winter storm warning, by the way. So it goes for northeastern Arkansas. That information is on the page, by the way. Okay.
Alright, so this is the precipitation map, wanting everybody to kind of sit here and look at this graphic here. Now keep in mind, that freezing rain down there in South Arkansas is probably going to come south. Alright, the black line means significant sleet and freezing rain is possible in those areas. Okay, I'm in El Dorado. What is your honest opinion about us down there in El Dorado? You are at the battle zone between rain and freezing rain. I've lived in El Dorado. I know how it gets. I've seen these setups time and time again where some places outside of Union County get freezing rain while El Dorado's a 33 and cold rain. So I say right now, watch it. If trends start getting a lot colder down there, then you're going to start seeing the potential of freezing rain down there in El Dorado. Okay, so keep that in mind down there in Southern Arkansas. You're at the battle zone right now. Okay, when will you give another weather update? I'm potentially going to try to do one this evening. Derek's going to be in the office right around 5-ish this afternoon, so we're going to kind of confer and re-update the precipitation outlooks here, but it's not going to be too much of a change. I'm going to tell you that now. There's going to be some tweaks here and there. It's going to hit Tennessee. Oh, definitely. It's going to hit Tennessee. Significant ice chances coming back towards the north in Conway. Debatable right now, because I think you're going to be primarily sleet versus freezing rain, but it's still a wait and see. We'll have to kind of tweak the forecast as needed here. So, you hope in the Prescott area, that's down there. It's all on the map, guys. Those that are asking about the cities, it's all on the map. You're asking about counties, it's all on the map, guys. And if you can't find it on the map, find it on the page. Arkansas feels like the sucks zone. You literally know what you're going to get down there. Oh, boy, I know how it gets down there in South Arkansas, man. Some folks you get really lucky, and some folks it's just, yeah. So I know how the feeling is here. I've been down there before. So Boone County, you're kind of stuck in the middle between sleet and snow up there. I think primarily you're going to be snow. Now you may have some freezing rain and sleet issues first thing in the morning and throughout the early part of Wednesday with that first low. But honestly, I think you're going to be primarily snow out this entire event. We'll just have to wait and see, because I think you may have ice. And keep in mind, up there in northwest Arkansas, you're seeing that snow, and you think it's going to be snow, and then tomorrow you're going to see ice, and you're like, well, I thought you said it's going to be all snow. Tomorrow, you will be dealing with some ice up there in northwest Arkansas as the cold air is getting here, okay? So northwest Arkansas, let me repeat that, will deal with ice tomorrow. This is going to be broken up into two different situations, okay? So tomorrow, northwest Arkansas will be dealing with ice. Then you transition over as the colder air gets to you guys first. Then it's going to be everybody else's turn here in Central and the rest of the natural state here. So, what are the chances of the red area moving up towards Craighead County? As a matter of fact, let me read that winter storm warning, because if that's the case, it may be coming up there with our next update here. So, you said Craighead County, heavy mixed precipitation expected. Total ice accumulations, 4/10 of an inch. Good lord, 4/10 of an inch to half an inch of basic freezing rain. And then, okay, so now we're starting to see an issue here. Okay, so remember I was telling you guys about the wind. I'm gonna read you guys winter storm warning. So total inch accumulation, 4/10 of a half an inch of 1/2 of an inch. Total sleet and snow accumulations up to 1 inch, and winds gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. Now you're starting to see the winds becoming an issue with this as well. So now we're talking 30 to 35 mile per hour wind gusts, which you do not want to see when you're talking about an ice storm. Okay? Let me see here. I'll be back for the GFS holler. If I miss much, GFS should be running probably the next 2 hours here. But they have already canceled some schools in Benton County for tomorrow. Great call. Kevin from Southern Plains Weather Authority. I have put much southwest Arkansas except for Texarkana in the highest area for potential wind remit. Great call. I'm probably going to be trying to do the same thing within the next update here that's going to come out. Also, another thing I want to talk about, okay? Expect power outages and tree damage due to ice. Travel could be impossible, okay? This is some strict wording coming from Memphis here. They are saying travel could be impossible in those areas, okay? Hazardous conditions can impact morning or evening commute. So they are saying that travel could be impossible in those areas. Expect power outages in those areas, okay? So as you can hear the dinging, we're getting more information in at this point. So this is what we're busy here at the Weather Center right now, okay? Let me see here. Nothing from Little Rock just of yet. That is for, let me see, that was for Jackson. Actually, let me take that back. Okay, so actually, that was, okay, so Memphis posted their hazardous weather outlook. Okay,
Streetport still quiet. Little Rock still quiet for right now. Okay, so yeah, that's what I was saying. That's the winter storm warning here. So looks like the red will be moving up. Yes, this area here, I'm gonna tell you guys now. I'm gonna go back to it. Okay, so this red area you see right here, I'm gonna go back. I'm trying to go back to the graphic here. Okay, there it is. Okay, so this area here with the winter storm warning out now is gonna get expanded. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. It's gonna get expanded, and I may have to introduce some fours with that. I'll have to confer with Derek and go from there. But definitely, you can see what I'm talking about here. You're starting to get some pretty decent wording from National Service in Memphis here. So just stay home, enjoy your time with family. Dustin, great comment. That's the best thing you can do. Stay at home, enjoy your time with family, guys. So just my luck in a winter storm, and we won't get much snow out of it. Thanks, Central Arkansas. I know. Unfortunately, it won't be the only problem here, guys. You know, the winter's not over with yet. It's the first thing in February. It's first of the month. So we still got all this month, March, April. I've seen some crazy stuff in May too. So winter's not done yet, and I'm gonna talk about that after this live stream. Not this live stream. After this winter storm's over with. But I'm just gonna tell you this: for those that are saying that we need a vacation, you're not gonna get a vacation. I think it's gonna be a pretty busy month here in Arkansas. I'll talk more about that later on. Clinton's not in the red. Instead of 4. This is gonna get retweeted here, but this is the damage. The index. Okay. Number 3 is for 35-mile-per-hour wind gusts or greater. That's that winter storm warning. So now I gotta introduce 3 up there in northeastern Arkansas. Prepare for power outages. You heard. Expect power outages and tree damage due to ice. Travel could be impossible. Hazardous conditions could impact the morning or evening commute in these areas. Another thing they're saying, if you must travel, keep extra blankets, food, water, and a flashlight in your vehicle just in case of an emergency. All you have to do to obtain the latest road conditions for the state that you can call from by calling 511. That's how you get the road conditions at this point. So let me go back here because they said before everybody's asking about certain cities, etc. here. So there it is. General map just made at 6 o'clock. Please keep in mind we'll have an update right around 6 p.m. This evening here. And yes, Allison, I'm gonna attempt to try to go live later on. Okay, I'm gonna see what I may try to do a live probably about 9 10 o'clock tonight. I want to see what's gonna happen with the 0Z here. But if there's not much of change, I may just do what I did last night and do a video update. But we'll wait and see. Okay. Winter weather in Arkansas is like an angry person who keeps coming back and saying an argument. Yeah, I know. It's basically like that here. So got the generator and filled up already. Great idea, JD. Great idea. All right. So weather apps aren't doing this with this as well. Those temperatures on this seem. This is why I'm saying, guys, don't trust the weather apps. 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 Okay. We hear that all the time. If I had a penny for every time I heard weather apps, I'd probably be a rich man right now. So don't trust it. Please do not trust those weather apps, okay? Listen to us. We know what we're doing, guys. We have a meteorologist on staff. We know what we're doing. What we are saying is pretty decent idea of what's probably going to happen, okay? Do not trust those weather apps. I think they are way too warm with this system, okay? They don't account for the little things that we account for here in Arkansas with the watchers, okay? So anything for Conway, yeah, Conway, you're in it too. 7-4, you're on the map. Guys, you gotta look at the map, guys. I know everyone's asking about cities, counties, etc. You gotta look at the map. Take 5 seconds, just so you can see on the graphic here. You gotta read the entire graphic, okay? Pick and point where you're at and go from there. If you don't like the weather, give it a minute, it'll change. You're right about that. Preach that all day long. Going to work Thursday, trying to figure out if I need to be prepared. Yes, I will be prepared, Shelby. I will be prepared for ice. And I believe you're down there in southern Arkansas, I believe. I recognize that name. If you're in South Arkansas, I'll tell you that right now. Be prepared. I know how this goes down there in South Arkansas. This is probably going to be a ice situation down there here. So if I don't want to get stuck with my family, I should travel to where I need to go. I'm kind of confused about that. Oh, okay. I just heard that question. PM me. PM the page. I'll take care of that question.
But yeah, please read the entire graphic, guys. It's very easy to pinpoint where you're at. Okay, yeah, I knew I recognized you. Down there in South Arkansas, you know how this goes down there. It's going to be a nice event down there in South Arkansas. I'm accounting for it. I'm just going cold rain right now because guidance is still kind of suggests that idea. But my instinct down there, I'm fully anticipating that purple to come down in South Arkansas here. It's just too close of a call down there. So, what's the difference between driving on sleet and ice? Debbie, great question. A world of a difference. First of all, you don't want to travel on sleet. Either way, it's gonna screw your roads. But traveling on ice is very difficult. Sleet, you have a little bit of a cushion with traveling. Either way, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Serious. Okay, it's just not. It's not a lot of a difference. Both are bad. Both are bad here. So I wouldn't do it. We're thinking more sleet and ice than ice in Craighead County. Admit to both. It just depends on how fast that cold air aloft gets to you guys. What about Jordan, Arkansas? Same thing. Let me see here. Like I said before, this is the time now. If y'all got questions, please ask. Please ask. I'm sitting here just looking at everything right now. Please ask. Are you guys going to try to put a temperature expectation map? Pepper, that is a very, 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 very difficult thing to do because all it takes, you put a temperature expectation map out, and all it takes is this thing to bust, and you throw that map, you just throw it in the trash. So, straight up with you, probably no. It's probably going to be like in the future cast. We may do some temperature future cast, but trying to forecast temperatures right down to the exact degree, it's not going to happen with this event because all it takes is for this to bust 2 or 3 degrees, and you just throw that graphic and you just throw it in the trash. So we will have future casts out here. Timing map right now, no, I haven't had a chance to work on one, but we will get that out, guys. How long would this stay on the ground? Probably till Saturday, or at least at the earliest Saturday, as late as Sunday. Don't expect this to be gone by Friday. Just don't expect it. Just joining, look for weather in Northeast Arkansas. My daughter is in Williams Baptist University in Walnut Ridge. Up there, you are now under a winter storm warning up there for freezing rain, sleet, and snow, and wind gusts up to 35 miles per hour. Please be on the lookout for power outages and very, very hazardous travel conditions across the area. Do you expect any ice in El Dorado? Right now, battle zone. I say a mix of freezing rain and rain down there in South Arkansas. The problem is in South Arkansas, you're going to have warm air to contend with. Up here in Central Arkansas, in the North Arkansas, you're not going to deal with it as much. But in South Arkansas is where the battle is going to be. Some places may see straight freezing rain down there, while some areas may see a cold rain. Battle zone. That's how it's going to be. It's going to be spotty down there. So right now, we're going to watch trends. We'll keep you updated on that at this point. So let me see here. Do you think we'll get snow in Perigal? Will it be all ice? Majority all ice. You may transition over to some snow at the back end of this. That's what that winter storm warning is for. It's for sleet and snow accumulations up to 1 inch in those areas. So you may transition over to some snow at the very end of this. Question, on models that show freezing rain totals, are those numbers including sleet or just freezing rain? That is the number one thing that I love about our products here at Arkansas Weather Watchers. We are able to separate it. It does not include sleet. Those are straight freezing rain totals. Straight freezing rain totals. We're able to separate the snow, the sleet, and the freezing rain totals just completely separate. I know some people have graphics that combines the freezing rain and sleet together, but our graphics here, we can separate the 3 totals. So one snow, one sleet, one's freezing rain. The ones you saw earlier were straight freezing rain all the way through. No sleet at all. Kevin, I added El Dorado to the rain or freezing rain area. I'm probably going to do the same with the update. I'm going to confer with Derek. Also, if folks that are wondering, Kevin, he works for Southern Plains Weather Authority. He's one of the guys that we confer with too as well. They are a regional area. They cover Texas, Louisiana, and Oklahoma. So we confer with them and we come up with ideas as well. So our ideas go from a much broader scale than just a couple of people. It's a big group that we confer with before you guys see graphics here. So that's if you see him commenting, just keep that in mind. We're just kind of conferring ideas right now on what to do for the update here. But yeah, down in El Dorado, I'm
really concerned about ice down there. But we'll have to wait and see. Janice, will this be like 2000? It's going to be very difficult to get this to be just like 2000. 2000 and 2009 were generational ice storms. Very difficult to repeat those events. Can it happen? It's 2022. Who knows? But we'll have to wait and see. Okay? But I'm going to tell you now, it's going to be very difficult to repeat what happened with those 2 ice events here in Arkansas. Okay? Some pages are saying an inch of ice right now through central Arkansas. Hunter, honestly, I've been back and forth about that. The only reason why is because you're getting sleet that's mixing in. That's what's going to cut into your freezing rain totals. This morning, I was working on the graphics, kind of confirming everybody's ideas, working on the graphics about 3 o'clock this morning. I almost did it. I almost put an inch of ice here in central Arkansas. However, the problem I'm having right now is the cold air invention could save us from those high-end freezing rain totals. So we're going to wait and see. I know some pages are saying an inch of ice. We're kind of on the lower end right now. I'm accounting for sleet. Sleet plays a very big role when you're trying to forecast ice. Because all it takes is you get an inch or 2 of sleet, it cuts into your snow and freezing rain accumulations. Okay, so that's what I'm accounting for right now. If we didn't have a sleet problem, this was straight freezing rain, then it'd be a different issue, different thing. Excuse me. But that's what I'm accounting for. So Van Buren, same thing. Up there, what causes freezing rain instead of snow when temperatures go below freezing? Okay, great question, Kelsey. I'm gonna give you guys meteorology 101. Okay, surface 925, 850, 700. Okay. Main you want to look at is 850 and 925. Okay. Basically, above our heads, snow's falling. Okay. Then it melts to rain. Okay. That means you have warm air aloft. You have warm air just above our heads. Okay. And then when the rain falls and you're below freezing, it freezes on contact. So the difference between freezing rain and snow is snow, you remove the warm air entirely. You're below freezing through the entire column. So that means you have no issues with melting or anything like that. You're straight snow. The freezing rain is there's warm air aloft that's melting the snow and it's causing raindrops. But the problem is you're below freezing at the surface down here. So when the rain falls, it's freezing on contact. It's just completely freezing on contact. So that's the issue here. Thank you for that question. I'm going to post that on the page as well here. So, it's going to be a lot of updates coming out for you guys on the page here. I will fully prepare for y'all's newsfeed to be kind of blown up. But at least you guys are prepared for it, right? So, on the 15th forecast, my forecast are saying 17 inches of snow. Oh, good Lord. I've been watching that system around the Valentine's time frame. I haven't had a chance to really talk about it or look at it or anything like that. I saw the Long Range GFS trying to do what it did last year. We'll wait and see on that. Let me get through this first, and then we'll start talking about that here. But 17 inches of snow. You're about, what, 2 weeks away from Valentine's Day. That just goes to show you with the those weather apps, man. They throw out some crazy stuff. Richie, yes, you did. Let me see. A very important update. If you catch this, yes, very important, guys. Also, I appreciate you guys, all the 400 people I've got right now. I went from almost 2,000 people to 400. So, thank you guys for being here. Patience. Apparently, patience runs thin here in Arkansas. So, just keep that in mind. That's what I get on here for. My number one source of weather. Thank you, Mark, for that comment. Again, the more south it keeps shifting, the more cold area will get to central Arkansas. Dustin, preach that. Preach that so much here. So, let's see here. Okay, so that's got to be from... Okay, so this is from Little Rock now. They have an AFD out. I want to see what they're going to say. Okay, so forecast confidence is increasing in a potentially highly impactful winter weather event occurring across the forecast area Wednesday through Friday morning. Rain, freezing rain, sleet, and snow all in the forecast here. Okay, so my question is, are they going to go with... Okay. The way their AFD sounds, they're going to go winter storm warning. Okay, so they're saying significant impacts are likely. They're already just pulling that out of the trick at this point. The greatest uncertainty in the forecast is the forecast accumulations. This will likely be adjusted leading to the event. At this time, the highest accumulations appear from west, central, eastern, and northeast Arkansas.
Forecast to see 1/4 to 3/4 inches of ice in those areas, lesser amounts elsewhere across state. Highest snowfall areas, northwest Arkansas, 1 to 5 inches are possible. Significant impacts are likely across the state. Okay? So, my number one thing is, are they going to, the way they're AFD sounding, which is basically their thoughts, the way they're AFD is sounding, we should have a winter storm warning out pretty soon. So, that's the way they're sounding right now here. So, wait, I'm confused. Can someone update about me in the Hensley area? When's it supposed to hit? It's going to hit late Wednesday into Thursday. Let me repeat that, folks. Late Wednesday into Thursday. Okay? That's when it's going to start impacting us here in Arkansas. Alright? If you guys need timing information, I'm going to have that on the page shortly. Okay, Jackson has her AFD now. So, okay. So, alright. So, that's it for that. So, yeah. 15 days out, man. I saw that. Let me see here. I learned so much, but I patiently wait for your videos here. Yep, there you go. Patience is the number one thing with me. That's the number one thing. A lot of people don't have patience. Those that do, I tend to go for them first here. So, let me see here. So, okay, Megan, great question. If it gets further and further south, would that increase the chance of more snow here in central Arkansas? Yes, and I know where this is going. I'm gonna repeat this. Again. Okay. Everybody that's expecting snow here in central Arkansas, I'm gonna be the bearer of bad news. It's not gonna be a lot. This is gonna be an ice event here in central Arkansas. Unfortunately, it's not gonna be a snow event. Yes, there could be snow on the backside of this, but don't focus on just the snow. There's gonna be ice with this. Okay, you gotta get through the ice part first. That's the problem with us being this far south. We have to deal with the warm air events and kind of undercutting the snowfall here in central Arkansas. Okay, so for those that are expecting a snow event here in central Arkansas, I'm just going to tell you now it's going to be a no. And there's no point of getting your hopes up about it or anything like that. I think it may happen at the back end. We'll have to wait and see. Now, to address your question, if it does go further and further and further south, then yes, you will start bringing snow here into central Arkansas. But right now, I don't think it's going to happen. I think you got a good read on the track. I think this is going to be I think we need to just be prepared for an ice event here. Unfortunately, I know that sounds the most non-popular thing here in central Arkansas, but it just is what it is. We're well overdue for an ice storm here. We're 10 years plus overdue for an ice storm here in central Arkansas. That's how it is. I wish I had better news for you guys. I really do. Let me see here. Okay, so got stuff for tacos. Oh yeah, Taco Tuesday. Taco Tuesday. So that would be super dangerous to have snow on top of that ice. Yes, very, very dangerous. And another thing I'm worried about here, I'm gonna take a look at something here in terms of temperatures. I want to see what temperatures are gonna be Thursday night. That's the number one thing I'm worried about with this. Okay, so Thursday night you fall into the teens and 20s across the state here. So whatever's on the roads, whatever's on the sidewalks, it's gonna freeze Thursday night. So Friday morning, gonna be a nightmare. I honestly can be completely honest with you. That travel index, I'm about to go high across the area. I'm about to just gonna say don't do it because travel is just gonna be a nightmare across the area. So you got the dedication, my friend. Thank you guys so much for that. Thank you for keeping us so informed. Yep, that's what I try to do, guys. I try to keep you guys informed as much as I can. What about Jonesboro? Will we get more snow and ice? I think it's going to be more ice. You up there in North Arkansas have the advantage of what's called the funneling effect. And basically what happens is, and I can draw this out. Let's draw this out because talking about it and drawing it out is two different things. Okay, let's draw this out so you guys see what I'm talking about. I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, the funneling effect. You have, as you can see here, your mountains up here. Okay, your mountains across this area. Okay, what happens is the cold air kind of sneaks behind the area. It kind of sneaks behind and goes through the river valley and goes through eastern Arkansas. Okay, so basically, okay, thank you, Mark. I knew it was coming. We now have winter storm warning here in the metro. I knew that was coming. I knew it was coming. We now have a winter storm warning here in the metro. I'm going to get that in just a bit. But anyways, basically what happens is you get the cold air kind of sneaking in behind the mountains. So you drop quicker in eastern Arkansas than you would in the River Valley region, or in the higher elevations here, because of the fact of cold air kind of sneaking behind it. So that would mean that you will change over to snow probably a lot quicker than us here in Central Arkansas. So I'm going to go ahead and read you guys that information. Everybody's tuning in now. All right, so there's a... Okay, so let me see here. All right, so they have upgraded. There's a lot of updates with this, guys. A lot of updates. Okay? So, let's read you guys this new information here. Coming straight from LZK. I expect this. I told you guys they were getting ready to do it. And let's go ahead and read you guys this new winter storm warning here. So, new winter storm warning for the metro. Let me go ahead and go back here. Let me go to Little Rock real quick. Let me go to Little Rock. Let me pull this up. Okay, so let me switch this back over to here. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go to Little Rock real quickly here. So this is gonna reduce the lag on my side over here. So let's read you guys this information real fast. Come on, any day now. I swear their website is so slow with getting information out. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. It should not be this slow. But okay. Alright. Okay, so new winter storm warning out. I'm getting information in right now. Alright. So, new winter storm warning out. I'm going to start this list. Boone, Marion, Baxter, Fulton, Sharp, Randolph, Newton, Searcy, Stone, Izard, Independence, Lawrence, Johnson, Pope, Van Buren, Claiborne, and Jackson counties. A winter storm warning is now in effect from new Wednesday all the way till midnight Thursday. A winter storm will approach from the west. 1 to 4 inches of snow and sleet in those areas, locally higher amounts. Ice accumulations of 1/10 to 1/2 an inch of ice are possible in those areas. Plan on dangerous travel conditions and power outages in these areas, okay? All right, so now the one for Central Arkansas. This goes for White and Woodruff counties. This includes Searcy, Beebe, Augusta, and also Cotton Plant. This goes for the potential of ice accumulations of 1/2. Oh, that's interesting. Ice accumulations of 1/2 an inch or greater. Sleet and snow accumulations of a dusting to a near an inch are possible. That has what saved us from the ice storm warning. It's because there's sleet and snow being thrown into this now. Alright, so this one right here. Alright, so now we're getting into Central Arkansas now here, okay? So let me go ahead and zoom this down a little bit. I know there was one that just came out from the metro here. Let me go ahead and double check that at this point here. So, okay, so they should have issued one for us here in Little Rock. I'm trying to find it real quickly. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so that's Searcy, that one. I don't think they've included the metro just yet. I think they've still kept this as a winter storm watch here, but I'm going to double check that and make sure, because I may have missed it somewhere here. Okay, let me double check that on the page real fast. Because I know they've upgraded the winter storm warning out for those areas here, but let me double check and make sure so I'm not missing anything here. So, waiting for it just to load. By the way, if you're just now tuning in, that's where you're looking at just the tips. I'm going to go back over to our preset map real quickly here. So, there's preset map. That was from this morning. Okay, so winter storm watch for Pike. They got a winter storm watch for Pike and Clark County down there now. Winter storm warning for White and Woodruff counties. Okay, so they have not included the metro just yet in the winter storm warning, I believe. Okay, winter storm warning for Clay and Greene County. Okay, they haven't included the metro yet. So I think they stopped it right before it got here. Okay, so which is weird. Okay, so yeah, the metro's not included yet, which is weird. I do not know why they updated everybody else except for the metro. That's weird. But anyways, let me see. Okay, so that's it. That's basically it. So the winter storm warning out goes for those areas here. So the main thing they're really stressing about with this is the potential of power outages with the ice. I do not know why we are still not under a winter storm warning here in the metro. I'm trying to figure out what the issue is with that. Okay, so basically what they have done. Alright, so basically they kept a winter storm watch here. A winter storm approaching from the west. Ice accumulations of 2/10 of an inch or higher.
Snow and sleet, central Arkansas. Okay, so basically, they extended. The winter storm watch still remains in effect. So we're still under the watch here. We just haven't been upgraded to a warning just yet. So I believe that may be coming later in the evening. I do not know why my face disappeared. There we go. But I do not know why that didn't happen. So majority of the year is winter storm warning now. Winter storm watch still remains in effect for us here in the metro. I think there's still some uncertainty with that, but I'm fully expecting it to be upgraded to a warning probably later this evening at some point here, which is weird. I don't know why they didn't go winter storm warning here. That's I don't know if I'm the only one that finds that weird. Let me see here how much ice accumulation is here. Let me go back to the ice accumulations here. So let's talk about that real quick. Now keep in mind, folks, this was updated at 6 o'clock this morning. Okay, this is pre-live stream. I've been live for about almost 2 hours now. Okay, so this is the current thinking for the freezing rain. Okay, keep in mind that this will change over the next day or so here. Okay, so probably because they will issue just a ice storm warning, possibly. I don't know right now. I do not know if they're going to go winter storm warning here, or they're going to go winter storm. They're going to go ice storm warning. Okay, so basically, I think that's what's going on. That's what. Okay, all right, yeah. I think that's the general idea of what's going on right now. I think they're trying to consider either they're going to go ice storm warning here, or they're going to go winter storm warning here. So I just thought about that. That would make sense to kind of hold off the winter storm warnings here until you get a better idea on the ice accumulations here. So yeah, they're gonna wait. They're gonna wait for the Little Rock area here because they're trying to figure out is it gonna be an ice storm warning or is it gonna be a winter storm warning here. But regardless, the winter storm watch still remains in effect. That has not changed for us here in Little Rock. All right. So that being said, guys, that's all the information I have for you guys at this point. I've gone over everything I could potentially go over. Will a winter storm, ice storm warnings be in the dark red shaded areas? Most likely, yes. Just keep this in mind. We're going to be working a lot on updates, etc. Questions, expect big delays. Okay, we got a million, as you can see in the comments, there's a million questions thrown our way right now. So that's all I got for you guys. I'm going to break away. I'm going to sit here. Derek's going to be coming in the office in a little while. We're going to be working on graphics and everything else. But we'll continue to keep you guys updated right here in your source for all things Arkansas weather.